There's a side to quiet luxury that no influencer on your feed is showing you, and it's not the Row or Loro Piana. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the real brands old money families have sworn by for generations. These are the labels with no marketing budgets, no viral moments, and no Instagram accounts pushing product drops. And yet their clientele is made up of royalty, discreet billionaires, and the kind of wealth that doesn't need to announce itself. This isn't about trends, it's about belonging. In elite social circles, your clothes aren't a flex, they're a silent passport to the rooms where power moves happen. And what those people are wearing, it's Zegna, it's Charvet, it's Anderson Sheppard, it's Kiton, it's Cesare Attolini. Let's start with Zegna, known as the Italian powerhouse behind the finest menswear tailoring. Zegna isn't chasing celebrity endorsements. What they offer is something far rarer: absolute control of their fabric mills, meaning the world's richest men are literally wearing textiles no one else can get. That's power, and that's why old money covets it. And then there's Charvet. Unless you've spent time in the drawing rooms of old European families or know your way around the halls of the Ritz Paris, you've probably never heard of it. Charvet is considered the first shirt maker in history, crafting custom pieces for kings, presidents, and discreet heirs alike. A Charvet collar or silk dressing gown isn't a logo, it's a lineage. Anderson Sheppard, the legendary Savile Row tailor, built its reputation dressing everyone from the Prince of Wales to discreet financiers. It's not about fashion weeks or press articles, it's about perfect, quiet tailoring that whispers generational money. Their clients don't want to be seen in the tabloids, they want to be seen by the right eyes in the right rooms. Kiton and Cesare Attolini both represent the pinnacle of Neapolitan tailoring, known for hand-stitched, soft-shouldered suits so comfortable they feel like a second skin. These houses aren't for people chasing trends. They're for men whose fathers and grandfathers wore the same labels, whose family names hang in private member clubs from London to Milan. What makes all of these brands powerful is that they aren't trying to sell you a lifestyle. They're preserving one. When you see someone wearing a Kiton suit or a Charvet shirt, you're not looking at a fashion statement, you're looking at an inheritance. You're seeing someone communicating fluency in a language of wealth that doesn't need followers, resale value, or logo mania. It's wealth without performance. And what's so fascinating is how psychologically opposite this is from the aspirational luxury pushed on social media today. Where influencer culture is obsessed with being seen, old money dressing is about being invisible to those outside your world and unmistakable to those within it. That's why these brands stay out of campaigns. That's why you'll rarely find them on Instagram. Because for the truly wealthy, exclusivity is measured not by price, but by privacy. And the real secret? The price tags are staggering. 5-figure suits, custom shirts that take weeks, jackets you have to travel for fittings for. But they're not sold as luxury. They're sold as necessity, as heritage, as a continuation of family tradition. So while the world argues over quiet luxury trends, old money isn't participating. They're still wearing what they've always worn, you just didn't know the names. Follow at GTWJmag on Instagram for daily deep dives into the world of luxury fashion, old money psychology, and everything your favorite influencers aren't telling you. And don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns of fashion's most powerful, secretive brands. And if you really pay attention, you'll start noticing these names in the most discreet places. The label sewn inside a perfectly tailored jacket at a private art auction. A monogrammed Charvet pocket square peeking out a political fundraiser. A Zegna overcoat walking out of a members-only club at midnight. These aren't brands fighting for relevance, because in their world, relevance has nothing to do with popularity. It's about being known by the right people, in the right places at the right time. Psychologically, what makes this so fascinating is the inverse relationship between wealth and visibility. The louder the logo, the newer the money. The subtler the garment, the older the wealth. And those deeply entrenched in this ecosystem understand one unspoken rule. If you have to tell people how expensive it is, you've already failed the test. And that's why these brands thrive generation after generation without trend cycles or influencer marketing. Because they aren't participating in the public conversation at all. They exist in parallel, in boardrooms, old estates, private airports, and places where social media followers hold no currency. Fashion today loves to talk about exclusivity, but true exclusivity isn't about price tags or limited drops, it's about access. And these brands remain accessible only to those who've always had it. It's the invisible uniform of a global aristocracy most people will never meet, but you'll always sense their presence by the feel of their fabrics, the cut of their jacket, the flawless hang of a trouser. This is why old money style can't be faked, because it isn't about buying a look. It's about being fluent in a culture, one that's maintained the same codes for over a century. And in this video, I want to give you a glimpse into that world. The world behind the Row, behind Loro Piana, even behind Hermes. The world where the richest people you'll never meet quietly Charvet, Kiton, Anderson Sheppard, Attolini and Zegna without ever tagging it. And it's why the idea of quiet luxury going mainstream is so ironic. Because the minute something goes viral, it's already left that world. If you want more of these unfiltered deep dives into the psychology behind fashion's most powerful players, make sure you're following @GTWJmag on Instagram and subscribe to this channel. Because in a culture obsessed with status symbols, we're here to talk about what those symbols actually mean. And here's the part no one on your feed will admit. The reason these brands aren't part of influencer culture isn't because they're outdated or too classic. It's because these houses don't need the attention. Their client lists aren't filled with celebrities looking for red carpet placements. They're made up of old families, private billionaires, and discreet power brokers who value anonymity over applause. Take Cesare Attolini. Every single Attolini suit is hand-cut and hand-sewn in Naples by tailors who often take months to complete one piece. You can't just walk into a store and pick one up. It's custom, it's personal, and you likely need a personal connection to even access their atelier for a fitting. That's what separates clothing from a uniform of belonging. And what's so fascinating is how this approach becomes a status language of its own. In elite spaces, spotting someone in an Attolini jacket or a Kiton sport coat instantly tells you they aren't chasing trends. They've been raised in environments where these choices are expected. It's a coded conversation, a way to identify anti-insiders without speaking. Zegna, for example, operates one of the largest private fabric mills in the world, meaning their clients have literal access to cloths no one else on earth can purchase. Imagine commissioning a coat from a textile no one else will ever wear. That's what real wealth sounds like. Charvet is another world entirely. Located inside Paris's Place Vendôme, it's been the shirt maker to royals, writers and politicians since 1838. Their silk dressing gowns alone are legendary, not because they go viral, but because they've been passed down through families, becoming heirlooms instead of fashion statements. In a world where trend cycles last months, Charvet pieces live for generations, and that's the underlying psychology of true luxury. It's about permanence. In contrast to fast-moving trends where status is tied to what's new, old money culture ties its identity to what lasts, to what's built so well it can't be replaced, to craftsmanship so precise it isn't meant to be seen by everyone, only recognized by the right people. That's why Anderson Sheppard's tailoring is so sought after in royal and aristocratic circles. It's not about the suit you buy today. It's about commissioning a piece that will fit your son in 30 years. It's generational thinking in fabric form. So while the masses chase logo-driven drops and seasonal hype, these brands stay untouched by public obsession. And that's exactly what preserves their power. Because in the end, the richest people in the world aren't worried about standing out. They're concerned with blending into the right rooms. And in those spaces, a Kiton jacket or a Charvet collar says everything you need to know. If you love this kind of breakdown, follow us on Instagram @GTWJmag for daily deep dives into the unspoken rules of wealth and luxury fashion. And subscribe to this channel because what's considered exclusive on social media is often just the surface. Here, we unpack the layers the fashion world won't show you, and trust me, we've barely scratched the surface.